Yeah, actually, well, there's no way to measure with that, right?
There is. What do you need?
I'm just,
Where you want to go? Yeah.
no, like lateral,
Yeah.
or actually, if you just give me 1 second, I'm putting in some steps to starboard. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
This
pretty,
is
yeah.
top down.
Also, Chris, if it helps you, the tallest height of the ship from keel to mast should be around 32 meters.
32. Okay, bet.
And it's
Absolutely
buried a
helps.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know. That's probably pretty good, right?
Yeah. Maybe step the ship over a little just
Yeah.
to line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
line
No,
definitely.
check.
we'll move the ship. I just like if you were gonna get rid of all that, I didn't want to.
Oh, Roger. Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, I'll come a few more actually.
Yeah.
But
I'll start the ship going. Bridge nav.
sounds good. Thanks, Johan.
Yeah. Actually, I see what you're saying.
Can we have a ship move 15 meters, bearing 160, please?
You can spin to keep me in view.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Why not?
And you can come down a little too. Actually, I'm stretched out.
I'm just gonna wait if to restart till we come down a bit in altitude. So I'll leave this up, and then even when I do restart it, we can still do a heading change to get the strike if we need it. But
Okay. Cool.
But trying to expedite as well, recognizing.
Okay. Sounds
timing.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I've got that move in.
I can't have that stuff there. It's bothersome.
I'll adjust heading. We get a little more.
Yeah, Roger. Okay.
So we can start to come down in this configuration. You want to do that? It'll just be 15 meters. Okay.
Side tone is insane. It's different on my panel. Menu, okay, got it. Yeah. Thank you. Check, check. There we go. Much less of me would be great.
Well, that data is pretty good. That inkfish data.
Yeah. Spot on.
If only all future targets were this large.
Yeah, this is one of the last, if not the last of the big ones. So.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting to note the distance between our archival point and this point too.
Is the archival point not even on the screen, or did you take it off?
It's a little over a half kilometer away.
Wow.
Or a nautical mile away.
Yeah, that's, yep.
That's a good question.
Yeah, kind of rounded over there.
Yeah. I'm also okay, like, knowing that you're doing auto depth and the ship is tall, that if you need to be a bit higher than the 65, that's all right. Let's see how tall it is. We can look. Can I measure in this direction? Click. Yeah, I don't think they're, but yeah, they are uncomfortable looking. Might be 15 meters up, something like that. Oh, I made a point earlier. Yeah. Yeah, look at them.
It's about as many points as you made today.
Okay, good. What? Okay, great. Yeah. 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 Let's do one more ortho down view and we can see if yeah, I mean, it looks to me like once you lock in the heading.
Looks pretty good.
Here, we'll wait for the heading to come, and it is going to be, yeah, it's got a little play in it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, we were doing all of them at 50, and they were also not short, so maybe 65 is okay. We'll find out. Oh yeah, no, that would be. I don't know why I think it's probably not the compass. I think it's probably the auto XY, auto heading. I don't know what kind of offset that TCM2 has in it right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel good. So like a heading of 62, 63.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, like 62 is ideal.
Is your set point 62? Yeah. Okay. All right, let me just do a quick little. So, yeah, it's going quite far, isn't it? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe 63.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, just about to say, right? Yeah.
Let me know when you're happy with that. Seems to be getting worse.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe even. Hmm.
Why does this keep changing for the to go? That's interesting.
Do you have to come out of AutoHUD and back in to reset a point, or? Okay.
Did you try the heading to starboard button? Like, yeah. Yeah, I agree, but I don't know. It's one more thing to. Yeah.
Can you edit the goal on your little grid? Okay. Gotcha. Roger. Be nice if you could just say 63.
Okay.
Looks like you got it though.
Yeah. Just roll with that.
Okay. Are you good if I start the ship?
Yeah, please do.
All right. Bridge nav.
Starting survey.
Can we have a ship move 250 meters, bearing 063, please? Bearing 063. At 63 would be great. Yeah, thank you. Perfect, thank you.
No, you're good.
Yeah, Roger. Sorry? Linux.
Linux.
Yeah. There we go. There's the results of me starting a new survey. So. Roger. I'll watch all the cameras and the sonars in case something comes up, but yeah, I think
Nope. No.
I don't know what Dave said, but I can guess.
Thanks, Rennie. You know, I don't get it, so.
Oh, there it is again. Yeah. Dave, you do get it. I just said it to try to be funny, and it's not funny.
Oh, no, but it's funny again now. Let's see. Every time.
Yeah. Now he's blowing up at me at every opportunity. Yeah.
Blowing up. I do it with love, my friend.
No. It's gone too long.
Now why is this swath list so uniform?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay. Because it's half, I say. Per minute. Meter second? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, meters per second. Here. Might have to speed up a little bit in a minute. Coming over you a tiny bit. Second. Meters. No, I'm used to winch speed. That's going to be vastly different from. It'd take forever. These are meters per minute, meters per second. Faster. Well, yeah. Yeah. If I just.
Yeah. I think it just doesn't like to sit still. This is not just everybody ignore that. Yeah. Sorry, you're saying you're off. Yeah, it's from
You're
center.
neutral.
I'm not too worried about. It'd be the heading if we're vastly off. But from center line, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for checking in though.
Sure.
Yeah. So I did go to 0.2, but I think you probably want to come to 0.15. Yeah. Just, yep. I'll just do it. And so, yeah. Because the last thing we want to do is tug. So I know you're not that far out, but still. Yeah. Yeah.
We can. I mean, if you want to go a bit faster and try to take out these heading wobbles, but I don't know. That would involve speeding up the ship. Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I think if you're okay with it, we'll just keep it.
Yeah.
And then, Sarah, I only did 200 meters, so just keep an eye on the to go. At some point, you'll probably, I mean, you could do it now, actually, if you just want to put in another 200 ahead so we don't come up short. Yeah, yep. Yeah, nice. Yeah, exactly, yep. Yeah, sure. I could tell, well, I'll keep it there so you have a frame of reference.
I feel like people rarely use the touchscreen, but
Yeah. I'm going to be totally honest, I didn't know it was a touchscreen until the other day when I was pointing at it.
it's the worst time to find out.
Yeah. I always worry about accidentally like readjusting a column or something in that table. So I'm worried like I'll touch the, between two boxes or something. And then it'll break and blah, blah. Doesn't seem to be a ton of debris around this one. You could probably speed up even more. See, they came up to 0.4. Yeah. Nice. I'll keep an eye on Mezzo and Tritech. Yeah. You could always do that, get out ahead, and then come back to point 2. I could maybe come down a little too if you'd feel better about it, but. Let's focus.
What
I
happened?
lost my, yeah. No, you're good. I think it's just the points. Let me, yeah, we're still recording. Sorry, I just lost the, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's not ideal. No, it's all good. It's not going to come back. It's definitely recorded. I'm not worried about it. It's just the visual, and so we'll just get that on our passes back. I'm not worried about it in the long term, but sorry.
Whoa. Who are we hearing?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. If you just joined us, we are currently in the 49th hour of our second dive of the NA-173 expedition aboard EV Nautilus, mapping and exploring the maritime history and archaeology of Iron Bottom Sound. So the expedition started just 5 days ago when EV Nautilus took off Honiara Harbor to start this 22-day expedition that will bring EV Nautilus across the Iron Bottom Sound, this very historically significant geographic area between the islands of Guadalcanal, Savo, and the Nagela Islands. That was the center stage of 5 major naval battles that ensued between August 1942 and December 1942, which resulted in over 20,000 casualties and the loss of over 100 naval vessels and over 1,400 planes, all which rest on the seafloor of this very sacred body of water now known as Iron Bottom Sound. 2 dives of this expedition have been very productive. So the first dive of the expedition explored the wrecks of USS Vincennes and Astoria, and we have since also explored the wrecks of USS Quincy, USS Northampton, all of which had previously been located by surveys done by Dr. Robert Ballard in 1992, and some of which had also been re-imaged by work done by Paul Allen's group, Vulcan Inc. in 2015 and 2019. But this morning, for those of you who are joining us, we made a very significant and new discovery, really highlighting the power of interdisciplinary collaboration when you have multiple scientists and multiple technologies working together. So in addition to the work that we have here on Nautilus, we also have a very hard-working shore-based team, including scientists that are here in Honiara and are operating a second vehicle, an uncrewed surface vehicle that is going back and forth mapping the deep waters of the Iron Bottom Sound, as looking for shipwrecks and other submerged archaeological resources. And so they had yesterday afternoon came across a couple of targets. They then relayed those targets up to the ship, and we were able to tow the vehicles, or ROV, or remotely operated vehicles, across one of which, and then came across the bow section of a New Orleans class cruiser that had never been located. And so in addition to the collaboration between the DRIX team and the onboard EV Nautilus team, we also had dozens of experts all over the world watching the imagery from our ROV surveys this morning in real time, and then contributing to making a positive identification of this bow section, something that will be announced in the next few days or so. So thank you so much for all the contributions so far. And this is really just the beginning. We are currently mapping the shipwreck of HMAS Canberra, so an Australian heavy cruiser that was also sunk here in 1942, also previously located by Dr. Ballard and his team in 1992, then imaged by the Vulcan team several decades later, and there was also a peripheral survey done just a couple weeks ago by a team aboard research vessel Hydra, led by Inkfish, and we've all kind of shared notes, all these teams that have investigated this wreck over the last 33 years, and that will culminate in the survey that we are about to start. So using the previous data that was collected on the wreck to see how we best approach and comprehensively map this wreck to try to gain new knowledge of this very important site. And so yeah, we thank all of you for joining us. We'll be mapping this wreck for another couple hours or so. We'll try to do, this is a very large target, 180 meters in length. And mapping data is very critical because it will allow us to basically understand how to best plan our survey. And then we'll be probably around 11 o'clock local time here in Honiara. We'll start approaching the wreck. So stay tuned, a lot more exploration to come.
Yeah, we're just getting that last bit. It's obviously the wreck has finished here, but we're getting a little bit beyond just to get just for the model.
Great. Yeah.
Might as well, because we're on we might as well go to our port on the next pass. We'll get the pass here later.
Yeah, it'll probably be the last one, right? Go all the way around.
Yeah, we'll come all the way around. That'll be the last bit, and then we'll start visualizing the wreck from this side. Yeah, just let me know when you're all finished.
Yeah, I think you could probably stop, Sarah, if you want to, yeah. Yeah, just double come out of it and then come back in. Yeah, nice.
Okay, I'm going to stop here. And then, yeah, so you'll turn 90 to a port,
I can follow you around. It doesn't, it looks like we're, yeah, nice. Johan has us stopped, so I think, and we're not going to swing much more, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Mick, can you hear me on SBL?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Brian, we have Mick de Ruyter on SBL joining us. Daniel?
Thank you, Dave, and welcome, Mick. Thank you so much for joining us, connecting from Australia. So, yeah, Mick, maybe if you can tell us a little bit about the historic significance of this wreck, we'd really appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on board. This wreck, HMAS Canberra, is actually the largest vessel in the Royal Australian Navy that was lost in combat. This one in particular, the ship was the second vessel of a class of 2. It was with HMAS Australia as well. HMAS Australia was with this ship when during the battle when it was lost. So these two were our 2 largest cruisers. We had 3 other cruisers, and by this time when this ship was sunk in August 1942, we'd already lost HMAS Sydney and HMAS Perth as well. So we were down to our last 3 cruisers, and HMAS Canberra was the last of our large ships to be lost in battle. There were 84 of the crew were killed in this action, including the commanding officer. There were 74 of those were on board at the time, and 10 were died of wounds later and were buried at sea. But this ship also has a significance for the U.S. Navy as well, because there was a U.S. Navy officer on board when he was killed on board when the ship was sunk, and afterwards a U.S. cruiser was named after Canberra, and now there is a ship in the U.S. Navy commissioned in 2023 called USS Canberra in honour of the ship, which was actually the first ship to be, I understand, the first U.S. Navy ship to be commissioned outside of the U.S.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mick, for joining us and providing all that context. And as I understand it, Mick, so there is one confirmed torpedo hit that has been seen, but I've heard quite a few academic debates over a second torpedo hit on the starboard side that has not been confirmed, and I believe there's also some theories about it being hit by friendly fire by USS Bagley, so I don't know if you can comment on that.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I don't have anything to substantiate that claim. It'd be really interesting to look at the detail of the hits. I understand that one of the torpedoes fired out by the first US destroyer when they were trying to scuttle it, hit the ship. The others missed or didn't explode, and then the second one from so I think that was Selfridge fired the first one, and then USS Elliott fired another one at the end to primary sink the ship. So there should be at least 2 hits from shall we call them friendly torpedoes.
Yeah, thank you so much for all of that. So we're having a little bit trouble hearing you, Mick, so I don't know if you can adjust the audio a little bit or maybe get a mic or get closer. But yeah, we will be investigating this wreck for the next 11 hours, so would love to have you online, and as your time and allows, would love to have your expertise help guide us through the survey.
Of course, yes, it would be fantastic to be here doing it.
And just for context for you, Mick, and for others, we have just finished our first pass using the NORBIT multi-beam sonar mounted to the Hercules ROV. So we have a pretty good general image of what the wreck is looking like from above right now. It's difficult to tell what side is the stern and the bow from just this pass without referencing prior knowledge. But we're about to do 2 more passes on the north side and then on the south side of the wreck just to fill out those acoustic points before descending and doing a visual survey. And you can follow. Sorry, I was just going to add, you can follow along with that on the satellite feed. That should be on, let me double check. On satellite 1. Oh, everyone was holding up their finger. I thought they were telling me to stop speaking. They wanted to tell me satellite 1. Thank you.
Also, a quick note for our very loyal and very helpful group of scientists offshore who have been online on all odd hours and continuously here, some of which for over close to 50 hours that this ROV dive has been going on. We're currently having a technical issue with the chat function in the science portal, so we currently cannot see that, but please continue using that. The chat is a very important tool that is recorded and becomes part of the permanent record of all of these ROV dives, so we appreciate everybody's contributions in the chat. Those will be logged and then will be part of the dive summaries that are generated after every dive. We hope that in the next couple hours while this mapping survey starts, we'll get that fixed so that when we start actually the video survey of the wreck, we can see the chat. So in the meantime, we'll continue working on that. Front row would be appropriate to do introductions now or a little bit later, whenever's less intrusive.
I think they're still setting up this next pass, and then we'll get everyone's attention.
Right. while the team continues the mapping survey. For those that had just joined us, welcome. We are just on the site of the wreck of the HMAS Canberra D33 wreck site, this 180-meter long wreck that was sunk off the island of Guadalcanal in 1942. For those that are following along either on the Science Portal or on Nautilus Live, you can see on video feed 1 the sonar data that is coming in. So the ROV Hercules, this remotely operated vehicle, has an acoustic mapping system mounted on the ROV, and we're basically just driving parallel to the ship at different elevations and moving closer and basically creating a very high resolution map, and it's able to resolve features between 10 to 20 centimeters depending on how close we get. And we'll continue this high resolution mapping survey probably for another couple hours. But that mapping data is really critical because it will allow us to then plan the next phase of investigation, which will bring the ROVs much closer. So we're now about 60 meters off the ship. And once we complete this complete map, we'll be able to bring the ROVs right next to the deck and start getting close-up imagery. That part of the survey should start about 11:30 local time, about 2 hours from now. And then we'll have about 7 hours or so for the close-up video survey, where we'll do kind of a photo mosaicing back and forth going across the entire periphery of the wreck, trying to get complete coverage of every spot on the ship. And that will take us to about 6:15 local time tomorrow morning. We'll then bring the ROVs and have them back on deck right before 7 o'clock local time. And that is to allow for enough time for EV Nautilus to steam back close to the port. We'll be swapping a couple of personnel folks, bringing a few folks onshore that are working on a companion project that is using very similar technologies that we're using here in deep water, basically acoustic mapping sonars and then high resolution cameras, and going to be deploying that in shallow waters where there are also several wrecks that are right off the coast of Guadalcanal. And so yeah, we'll have a couple of team members join that effort. And then around lunch tomorrow, once that personnel transfer is complete, we will have Nautilus steam back out here towards the waters just south of Savo Island and interrogate 3 other known wreck sites for which we have good position data from surveys that were done over 30 years ago. 3 destroyers, they're all close to one another within about 2 nautical miles of each other. And the plan is to launch the ROVs there around 12:30 local time here in Honiara, and then sequentially do ROV surveys just like we're doing right now in Canberra, starting with USS De Haven, then USS Preston, and then USS Welcome, all very close to one another. At the same time, we'll have our companion vehicle, uncrewed surface vehicle Drix, this wonderful 7.7 meter long robot that is basically has been driving just outside Nautilus, mapping the waters around us. They will continue doing that and interrogating the seafloor for any unidentified objects that they find that they look like they could be human-made objects, shipwrecks or downed aircraft or anything like that. And so they'll be mapping in our periphery and then hopefully be able to locate something that is along the track of our ROVs, and then that will be able to use that information to direct our or redirect our ROVs to those locations, interrogate those findings, and then see if we come across anything that was unknown. And we'll kind of continue in this mode of operations with different robots working on different parts and using different technologies, but all working together behind a common cause. And that common cause is to map and characterize as many maritime heritage sites as we can possibly fit in these remaining 16 days of field operations that we have here in the Solomon Islands. And so if everything goes according to plan, we should have nearly continuous ROV operations and nearly complete coverage of Iron Bottom Sound using the mapping sonars of DRIX, and then hopefully lead to many new discoveries. So thank you so much for joining us, and a lot more exploration and hopefully discoveries to come. Mick, yeah, if you can hear us and if you've changed headset, and yeah, I'd love to see if the audio has improved.
Yeah, hello again, Daniel.
Oh, wonderful. That's loud and clear.
That's so much better.
Yeah, it's better with your kids' gaming headset.
Wonderful. Yeah, well, thanks again, Mick, for joining us in these later hours of your day. Yeah, just love your thoughts a little bit of what we know about Canberra and what you think are some unknowns that we might be able to get some insights in these next 10 hours that will be on site.
Yeah, it's a fascinating wreck. We're obviously interested in the state of the wreck and how it's deteriorating and potentially falling apart. So a comparison with the work done in '92 by Bob Ballard and recent surveys in the last years and earlier this year as well. It'd be really good modelling data to compare them, just to see the state of the wreck and see if see how quickly it's disintegrating and what state it's in. But from those this multi-beam image, it looks to be sitting upright in a still in reasonably good state.
Yeah, thanks, Mick, for all of that. And yeah, if I can ask another question, I know your connections to the Australian Navy, and yeah, just would love your thoughts about what this particular ship represents to the Australian Navy, the significance, and obviously bearing that very important name. So just love to hear your thoughts about the significance of this particular ship to the Australian Navy.
Yes, as I was saying before, I'm not sure if you could hear me properly, but yeah, this is our largest ship that we've lost in actually in combat. And this was the last of the large ships that we lost in the Second World War. This is the first ship to be called Canberra, and was HMS Australia's sister ship when it was built in the 1920s. We've since then had a frigate called Canberra, and now one of the largest two ships in the Navy at the moment is HMS Canberra, which is one of the LHTs, the landing helicopter docks. This ship we're looking at, this Canberra 1, as a 10,000-ton cruiser. That was a significant vessel for the Commonwealth navies, but particularly for Australia, we only had two of this size. The other cruisers that we had were around 7,000 tons. There were three of those. So this ship was involved. The loss of this ship involved a significant number of casualties for a relatively small navy. There were, as I was saying before, 84 people killed, and around 190 casualties all up for this vessel. Many of the survivors from this ship went on to be crew for a cruiser we got off the Royal Navy as a replacement. There was HMS Shropshire, HMAS Shropshire after that. And interestingly, they were going to rename that ship Canberra, but the name had already been requested for a US ship at the time.
Yeah, thanks so much for all that very important contextual information. And yeah, so for folks online, we've been talking quite a bit. Obviously, so far we've surveyed several U.S. heavy cruisers, and now looking at an Australian ship. And so, yeah, if I can prompt one more time, Mick, and yeah, just maybe talk us through a little bit about the Australian involvement in this campaign. Now, several nations obviously were part of the Allied forces, and yeah, if you can provide a little bit of context for our viewers about the Australian connection to this particular conflict and the presence here in the Solomon Islands in World War II.
Yes, of course. Well, we in this particular contribution for this element was what was at the time called Task Force 44. We had HMAS Australia and HMS Canberra were a part of this task force, which was our contribution to the campaign in the Solomon Islands for the Coral Sea. So there were the landings that took place in Guadalcanal and Tulagi. These two ships were involved in. They had before that, well, Canberra before that had been used mostly for convoy escort and patrolling duties around Australia, and had been involved in a number of a couple of minor actions. The ship itself was in Sydney in 1942 when midget submarines attacked the harbour. That was when the ship was being refitted for to join Task Force 44. So when these two ships were Australia and Canberra were allocated this task force, they had both each had an aircraft with them, which was a walrus, which is basically a flying boat that was launched from a crane. I'd be very interested to see if we can see the walrus still on still on board Canberra, but the walrus from Australia was lost earlier in the campaign down near Santa Cruz. So as far as I'm aware, and I'm not obviously not an expert on the aircraft side of it, I think that's the two Australian aircraft that we have lost associated with this this task force anyway. So there's Canberra and 2 aircraft that were lost as part of that. Australia continued as part of the task force after Canberra was lost, and then of course there was the Battle of the Coral Sea after that engagement.
Thank you again, Mick, for all of that context as well. And thanks for repeating yourself a few times. If there was any of that you said earlier when we couldn't hear you as well, you're coming through great now. And yeah, that's interesting to mention the float planes that were on board, or at least one. We have not seen any from any of the heavy cruisers on the American heavy cruisers that we've surveyed so far, but it would be definitely a treat to see that if it were still here, or if we were to see any elsewhere with the help of Drix.
Yeah, at the time the aircraft was still operated by our Air Force, the Royal Australian Air Force. So with this ship, we have a number of RAF casualties as well. So the cruisers operated the float planes as part of the complement fleet air arm until after the war.
And we continue here with our mapping surveys, setting up for our visual surveys, which we'll start a little bit later. Very grateful to Commander Mick de Ruyter from the Royal Australian Navy, maritime archaeologist, who's also online and helping guide and execute this dive. So thank you so much, Commander Mick de Ruyter, and as well as to all of our shore-based scientists that are also elsewhere joining. We have a pretty distinguished team of archaeologists, historians, and other experts that are joining us remotely from many parts of the globe, including from all countries that were involved in this campaign here in the Solomon Islands, as well as in other countries, all made possible thanks to the wonders of telepresence, where we collect the data, then stream the data almost in real time for experts to be able to analyze it, and then set up communication channels for those remote scientists to also provide interpretations and direct feedback to the onboard team, and that way are able to have a much bigger team and harness really the intellectual capacity of not just the 50 people that we have physically here on board EV Nautilus and the half a dozen scientists and engineers that are in Honiara helping with the Drix surveys, but really several hundred and potentially thousands of citizen scientists. They're all helping with this important endeavor. So thank you so much for joining us, and this is really just the beginning. 10 more hours today of exploration of the Canberra, and then another 17 days of explorations of other targets that we hope to map and uncover here together over the next 16 days.
The NORBIT, the folks who are currently working on the NORBIT survey, including Rennie, sitting right next to me, they're just noting, I was just going to talk about the blister feature that you're noticing. We're calling it a blister, don't know what it's properly called, but in looking at model images of the hhmmss Canberra, you can see that along the hull, there's sort of a blister, like protrusion along almost the full length of the ship, mostly amidship. And we're actually resolving that right now in the NORBIT survey, which is pretty cool to see that it is a feature that we can pick up with the NORBIT sonar.
Yeah, it's certainly a good feature there. I think that's a torpedo bolt.
Okay, that was one of our pilots had been thinking that that's what that might be. Good job, Chris. Yeah.
And while we continue here with our mapping sonar, I just want to take a moment, also a big shout out to our small team, but extremely hardworking team of onboard data engineers, or team of one, sometimes two, depending. They both have other duties as well. So Rachel Simon and Tim Burbank from the University of Rhode Island, who are working behind the scenes to make a lot of this work possible. A lot of networks and a lot of technologies also needs to be wired, and now working relentlessly behind the scenes to fix some bugs and issues. Hopefully be able to get the science portal. We also had a couple issues with our data streams that are being fine-tuned, and yeah, huge things. There's obviously, you'll hear some voices and see some faces here in the control van, but there's a huge team that is making all this possible, and that includes some folks here on the ship that work behind the scenes to make all this possible. And then we have also a small team of really hardworking folks that coordinating all the logistics. We have now 3 teams really working together, and so it's a big operation in terms of how many people and how many technologies and how many moving parts. A very small but incredibly mighty team of folks who are making all this possible. And then, of course, a wider network of folks that are all working together. A few questions coming in here via our website, and we encourage folks to continue asking that. So at nautiluslive.org, there is a text box there, and that is aware for anyone from the public to ask questions here to the onboard team. We've been monitoring that as time allows, but starting tomorrow, we'll have a new member of our team join us. So tomorrow around in the morning, we'll have Locke Patton, our science communication fellow, who will be joining the ship and will be on board for the next 17 days. And Locke will help monitor all those questions and work to get those answered. And we'll be working on various other education outreach products. Also coordinating live ship-to-shore interactions, which are available online 24/7. You can sign up if you are an educator, if you're a teacher, if you work at a museum or anywhere else where you have a captive audience that is interested in learning more about our mission, the technologies, the people, the discoveries. all the things that we do on this and other explorations of the deep sea on EV Nautilus and our vessels. You can sign up for a ship-to-shore interaction at NautilusLive/education. Follow the link to ship-to-shore interactions, and there's a form there that you can fill out. That's just a short form where you can request one of these interactions. You'll just tell us, what time zone you are and where and when you want to have this interaction. Then our very hardworking team will set that up. It's in essence a Google or Zoom communication that we will set up, and there's a broadcast studio right behind us where we'll then host that ship-to-shore interaction. We'll bring it to the broadcast studio. Team members from the ship here, and we'll have that call with you and your captive audience. But it is a full broadcast studio, so we'll be able to splice in imagery, videos, models, some compelling visual imagery from what we've been discovering. And so, yeah, I encourage folks to take advantage of that. A couple of questions that are coming here online are about the data and some of these models and things that we're doing. This expedition is a little bit different than our typical normal operations. On typical EV Nautilus expedition, all the data, every single data stream that we collect is all released publicly. It's all put on different publicly available repositories for anyone to access. This expedition is a little bit different in that the nature of this expedition is to explore maritime heritage sites, shipwrecks, downed craft, and other. Important to note that these wrecks are graveyards. There are grave sites where many thousands of service members and crew lost their lives, and so we want to make sure that all of these sites are left behind in their current state. We want to protect these sites from commercial salvors and looters, and as a result of that, we will not release publicly any information about the position of these wrecks. So many of our data streams that have position data embedded in them will not be released. Now, there are several pieces of data that do not have position information, including some highlight videos, images, 3D models of wrecks, and we'll release those as they become available. We already have a couple highlight videos, mostly interviews by our very talented and hardworking naval historian, Frank Thompson from the Navy History and Heritage Command, as well as maritime archaeologist, our Japanese colleague, Hiroshi Ishii, who provided a very nice interview that was released on our website, also some blogs. Also, later this week, there will be a nice highlight video from our dive on USS Vincennes and other U.S. naval cruisers, and we'll continue releasing these types of data sets. They are all going to be released and linked to our website. So on nautiluslive.org, there's a tab at the top where you can go to the expeditions, and there's a individual link for each and every one of our 173 and counting expeditions that EV Nautilus has conducted over the last 17 years. And so on that expedition page, there will be links to various data sets, and they'll get populated here in the next 16 days while we're at sea. And then even after the expedition is over, that expedition website will live on in perpetuity, and we'll start adding data sets there. So a lot more to come. And so yeah, well, one of the core principles here at the Ocean Exploration Trust is to try to make as much data and information available to the broader scientific community and the public as a way to spark additional discoveries, additional inspiration, and really try to motivate youth and public and people from all ages to pursue the wonders that are deep sea ocean discoveries. So hope you can check out some of the many resources that are available at nautiluslive.org. And there's many things there, including links to whether you're a scientist. There's parts there geared to how you can participate on these expeditions as a scientist, and then also many other resources more geared to public audiences. So a one-stop shop gateway for a lot of different resources on all things ocean exploration, technology, and discovery. Few more questions coming in. So a few interested viewers interested about the resolution of these mapping data sets that we collect. And so, yeah, how small are the pixels? And now the important to note is that on this expedition, we're actually mapping with multi-beam sonars that are on different vehicles. So in the first few days of the expeditions, we were mapping with the multi-beam sonar that is attached to the hull of the EV Nautilus. We are also mapping with a multi-beam sonar that is attached to the hull. Actually, there's a gondola on the bottom of this hull on Trix. And right now, we're mapping with yet another multi-beam sonar that is attached to the ROV. Important thing in terms of resolution, the distance between where that sonar is to the object, that will have implications about how fine of a resolution you can get. Also the frequency of how often you make these pings of sound, that will have impacts on how fine of features you can resolve. And so, and another, so for the sonar that's now on the ROV, we can basically move the ROV as close as we physically can to an object, so we can get really, really close. In contrast, the sonar that's attached to the ship and attached to the uncrewed vehicle surface Trix, we can't move those sonars closer to the bottom. We can only basically, if the depth gets shallower, you would decrease the distance between the sonar. But long story short, for the mapping data that we're collecting with Trix, that is able to, at these depths that we have here in Iron Bottom Sound, about 700 meters or so on average, is able to resolve features that are about 12 meter in resolution. So every pixel will be about 12 meters. So that means that any feature that is 12 meters or less would not be seen in it. The mapping sonar on Nautilus at these depths would be much bigger resolution, so we're not really using it that much here in Iron Bottom Sound because we have better tools. And then for the sonar data that we are collecting with the NORBIT wideband multi-beam sonar that is attached to the ROV, we are able to get down to centimeter scale resolution. But in general, some of this data sets and centimeter resolution would really require basically getting the ROV right on top of every feature. For the distances that we're going to be doing this here, we'll get to about 20 centimeter or so resolution of the shipwreck, so meaning that every single pixel, and it's really a three-dimensional pixel, not just a two-dimensional pixel, so voxel is the technical term there, so every one of the sides of that cube will be about 20 or so centimeters. But needless to say, when it is a very powerful tool, and it gives us a very good first snapshot of each and one of these wrecks that we can then use to plan and execute our visual surveys in more detail. front row if you guys are set up, and it's appropriate to do just a quick round of introductions for our audience.
Sure.
I'm now on SBL. Hey everyone, my name's Johan Becker. I'm the navigator on this 8 to 12 watch, and yeah, I've been with OET for about 3 years.
Hey everyone, I am Sarah Surgeon. I am the co-pilot today. At the moment, I am sitting in the piloting seat, which I'm pretty excited about. I've been with OET about, this will be my 3rd year, but I've only been able to do like a cruise a year until this year. Getting a few under my belt, and yeah, excited seeing all this. This is a dream cruise here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're a pilot. Yeah, hey everyone. Sitting co-pilot. I'm Chris Ritter. Yeah, this is my 2nd Nautilus cruise, but been an ROV engineer and pilot since 2010 or 11. And super excited about this cruise. Happy to be here. And to my left is our esteemed video engineer.
Hi, I'm Dave Robertson. I'm senior video engineer for OET and lead video engineer on this expedition. I'm sitting in the video seat for the 8 to 12 watch here, and making sure that everybody sees what they need to see and everything gets recorded, and that the cameras all look good. Daniel?
Thanks, Dave. Aloha, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Daniel Wagner, sitting here on the 8 to 12 watch. When I'm not on Nautilus, I serve and have the privilege to serve as the chief scientist for the Ocean Exploration Trust and help plan and execute the science aspects of our mission. And it's an absolute privilege. I've been very privileged to be able to sail on Nautilus on several expeditions in the last 4 years. But this one in particular, it's just such an honor to be here. We recognize how significant this place is for his historic significance, for how many people lost their lives, and how the conflicts that ensued in this area had really important impacts for the future and for the future of that campaign. And it's just such an honor and a privilege to be on board, and really grateful to be able to be surrounded by such a distinguished and talented group of folks, both on the ship as well as our extended network of scientists ashore.
Your turn, Renee.
This is Renato Kane. I'm sailing on the ship as a mapping coordinator, currently operating the NORBIT multi-beam sonar. I've been on 78 Nautilus cruises.
How many years?
For over the course of 13 years. And yeah, also just really happy to be here doing this work.
Hi everyone, this is Leela. I am sitting in the data logger seat. I am one of the science managers on this expedition, and I have been with Nautilus for 8 seasons now that Rennie's had to put up with me. But this is the first archaeological cruise that I've gotten to be on, so it's an honor to be here. I'm really excited to be seeing everything that we're seeing. And thank you everyone who is following along for every wreck that we're looking at.
Yeah, thanks. And Commander Mick de Ruyter, if I can ask you to introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Mick de Ruyter. I'm joining you from Adelaide in South Australia. I'm from the Royal Australian Navy. I act as an archaeologist with the Sea Power Centre Australia, but also with Flinders University here in Adelaide. This is my first Nautilus expedition. Thank you very much for this opportunity to have me along. This is amazing technology to watch, and it's awesome to be able to join you like this and to see the ship and your other surveys that you've been working on.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's wonderful to have you on board, and on board in parentheses, but hopefully
Yep.
the first of many explorations.
Yeah, I hope so too.
We're just discussing our next approach here because the ship is slightly tipped over into the sediment. We're trying to get a little more offset away from it, so hopefully we get a little more coverage with our multi-beam sonar, kind of striking the side of the ship to get a more full coverage on the model. We'll see if that. Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Couple. Oh no, it's not letting. It runs out of juice. That's so weird.
You're just going too crazy with the scroll wheel, Rennie.
Yeah. Hold on, let me go back. That's just a funny thing. Why would the computer choose that? It's like running out of gas or something.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no. Alright, it doesn't want me to zoom in on that right now, which I get it.
Well.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, it's looking better now. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and turn, and if we need to, we'll step to starboard after that, but yeah, okay.
Oh, that's all right. It took me a while in the beginning as I was trying to toggle to figure out why I was hearing everyone.
So it looks like we can kind of get a sense, right, as we spin here, a bit of what it's going to look like with this offset.
Side lobey.
At the top is, yeah, there's a bit of side lobe here at the, but that's just so it's an extra return based on, I don't know if we want to talk about it, but the ellipse that is created from the transmit array, from the amount of elements there are, the ellipse isn't just that thin ellipse that we're looking at. There are also these things we call side lobes of like extra returns that kind of like, that's just the way that beamforming works, and so we're getting a little bit of extra of that, and it's showing up. It's usually an onboard filtration for multi-beams, but some of them are better at it than others. And also, talking a bit about it is actually it could have to do with the fact that an NORBIT is has a barrel array on the receive, which allows us to do cool things, but also may affect the side lobe a bit.
Barrel array rather than like a T?
Like a flat, yeah, a flat T. So it's like got a cylinder for the transmit, and then the receive is like kind of
gotcha.
like this, yeah.
U-shaped.
Yeah, so it might be like inherent in the physical component, but.
Oh, instead of like a bunch of flat.
Yeah, like a flat T
Yeah.
of some kind.
Okay.
It's like curved, which lets you do cool things like steer it a bit more. You can still do beam steering with the flat one, but this is a little more like physically steering, like actually choosing different, but it means you can see less. Like the ones on the starboard side of the receiver array can see less of the port side inherently because of how it's curved, so it has a little less to work with, and sometime, I don't know if that may have to do with the side load suppression a bit.
If anyone really wants to make their head hurt, just Google beam forming theory of multi-beam sonars.
Yeah, if you want to learn about it.
It is not as simple as it seems. Ping goes out, ping returns.
Yeah. I'm not sure that we're going to get under that bit, but I don't know that stepping further away, it kind of risks not getting. I think we just roll with it. Let me see. Yeah, if you come down 3, that would help. If you coming down some would help, and
I'll come down with you. Yeah.
I'm just debating on if we step to starboard at all or not.
Yeah, it's still, I don't know. You think where do you think you would lose stuff?
Just on the, I think we're probably fine. Yeah, there would probably be some more, not to belabor the point, but there might be some more side load because it's now more of the outer stuff.
Gotcha.
On the top you'd get, because all this is now like, we're going to have to filter some of that stuff out, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just give that a shot, see how it goes. I mean, also, it's part of it's just the nature of the wreck. If it's tipped over, it's really hard to kind of see under.
Yep.
But
what's that? Yeah. I think you can slowly change the set point when you're in auto depth too, if you want. If you just come back on the joystick, I mean.
Let me know when you guys are happy up there.
That's probably fine, sir. 29 is fine. Never mind. I think you should get 30. You're 30, there you go. Nice.
Yeah. Give it a shot. I think that's gonna be it. All right, I'm gonna.
Yeah, and same thing. You'll come across, and then once you start, yeah, I'll turn. Yep.
Ready to go.
Yeah, you could probably start soon because you have to come across the screen first. But up to you.
we're still getting definitely the actual ship shape here, which is great. Just be a little bit to clean up about it, but if you look at the kind of the general shape of the ship here.
Does that look like an indentation there? Or do you think that's real? Or is it hard to say?
That, no, I think that this here is side lobe, and then that
Okay.
in there is correct, is real.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But, well, I don't know. We don't know until we go. Because that could,
Hard to say not knowing.
yeah, it's hard to say. We're inside the ship.
All right, don't break the scroll wheel now.
Oh yeah, forgot I was on a scroll wheel limiter. There's a governor on this scroll wheel.
Yeah, you're maxing it out.
Yeah.
1 scroll an hour. Yeah, comps look good.
It's incredible what not using the craft arm will do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that Herc?
K2, or sorry, Johan, can you tell me if what's the red? Someone set one of the Herc positions to red. Is that the track line in high pack to red? Is that the K2 solution, or is it the USBL solution? Okay, so that's not great, is it? Yeah, can you go, if you go to vessels, hit Hercules USBL at the top. Vessel track is red, and then go to K2. That's a bit further, yeah. Okay, good, that's good. Those are just USBL pings.
Cool.
Can we set that track line to not be red, because I don't want it to be. Red is like very real to me, and that's why we keep the DVL track line as red, and yeah. And then also it should be set to like 50 seconds, not 500. I don't care about USBL for that long.
Just really putting down USBL right now. Purple, no, that's, my name means purple. We can't choose purple.
Yeah, periwinkle.
Lavender.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because I said so.
Yeah, that is interesting about the USBL though. Do you mind pulling up the Sonardyne computer up there so I can look over your shoulder? Why are we getting that?
Yeah, because that only just started.
Yeah, zoom out a bit. Yeah, okay. And is it just Hercules that's happening to? There, they just did it, yeah. Huh. Can you pull up tools, advanced, acoustic signal analysis? And then choose Hercules, or yeah, whichever one. And then try to put it off to the side, and when you see an off ping, tell me what the phase, if the phase looks funny. Yeah. It's getting a bad, yeah, it could.
It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not great for K2's solution. It'll mean I'll have to damp that down a bit in post, I think. Yeah, so on bad pings are any of the phase waves like flatlining. Yeah. What is that warning? Okay. Can you open CPath? Getting deep. I would be doing it, but I'm just monitoring this thing back here, so. It's okay. That's fine. Let's just monitor this first.
It's suddenly not doing it anymore.
Yeah, of course, because we're looking at it. Thank you for noting that, Leela.
Yeah.
Or notating it. Yeah, it's not just you, Johan. It hasn't happened.
Johan, you're really quiet. I think your mic is... Oh. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, I see. Those red ones mean no fix at all, but they're not like a bad ping. Yeah. But of course now we can't see what that funny business was. It's interesting because it was like 90 degrees from Hercules,
Yeah.
but not relative to the ship. So that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's just straight out that way.
Yeah.
What would
Could be coincidence, I guess, but it seems crazy. This little structure here will be fun to interrogate.
Yeah, there's some debris off to one side on the south side of the wreck. Not sure what that is.
Isn't there another thing out here too? Where did that go?
I didn't see. That was the only one I had seen.
Oh, okay.
The one you tried scrolling on.
Hmm. I don't see any errors there. Oh, wait a minute. The Fugro needs to be reset. Let me go do that. Do you know how to do that? Okay, I'll do it. And then I'll tell you how to do it.
You to go.
Thank you.
So that wouldn't, yeah. That wouldn't matter for the errors that we were seeing, but it was something that we should address. It brings our corrections for our horizontal accuracy from like 1-ish meter to like 5 centimeters. But there's other errors that propagate that would influence more, and also doesn't have to do with the error we were seeing. Yep, that's good. It's just a power cycle, and there's a little unit in the rack 1 that's called the C star. That's all.
Just a
Yeah, yeah, and you can do it behind the rack, but there's otherwise you just hold the outer buttons and it restarts. Yeah, I'll show you after. Yeah, I think we did end up getting a fair bit of what we wanted, so that angle was fine as well. It only seems to be just under the top lip that we didn't get, and that's fine.
Just about to finish our final pass.
Yep. And we'll get one more little side pass, and we'll start.
It's pretty impressive how much it did actually get already on both sides.
Yeah, it's just so razor thin. Yeah, I'll fill in hopefully like that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let us keep swinging out a little bit.
As we continue this mapping survey, I just want a quick note for our scientists ashore. We unfortunately have an issue with the chat function on our OET science portal, so the chat is currently not operational. Our data engineers are aware of the issues and are trying to mitigate them, but in the meantime, the science chat is down. We encourage all of our scientists ashore to, in the meantime, use the text box on the public-facing nautiluslife.org to send us questions and interpretations. So that's a way for you to get in touch with us while the science chat is done. Apologies for the inconvenience, and hopefully we'll get that resolved soon. And thank you so much for all your contributions so far.
Stop right about there.
Yeah.
All right. Stop. And we are all set.
Okay, ready to turn whenever you are.
Yep. All right. Here we go.
And you can DVL reset whenever, Johan.
Not yet.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Not. Do you have it? Do you have the position set on USBL?
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, got it. Good. That makes sense.
Did that get that hole already?
Not quite.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a bit. It seems like there might be something overhanging here.
Right.
So we'll see.
Are we going like 3, 3, 3? Yep. It's just going quick.
Yeah, it is. I got a big forward side lobe.
Okay, I'm gonna do a restart of the line, and then yeah, when you guys wanna go ahead, just see what we can do.
You want to do about 60 or 65? Cover the whole thing. I know last time we added 5.
Oh, so for this, we
kinda
really
doing
only
the
need to
front.
just get like to the edge of the wreck here. So 40, yeah,
45?
let's start with 40, and then
Okay.
just so you don't get too far off from exploring the wreck, which hopefully you guys can start at 11.
Okay.
Do you want, yeah, hold on. Let me get you a good one. Is that good?
Oh, Hercules is totally in the way.
Yeah, and then when we probably go to switch, we'll have to take maybe, if you want, take out that 6/8 wrap. But we'd have to spin together then. Depending if you want, or let's see when we get finished, see how it feels. On the way. Yeah. Just more watching the tether ones. Okay. And I'll probably keep things pretty tight when we switch this time.